This is Brian Hendricks Red Fox form, and this is an NW35 artificial habitat base from Mackenzie's. I'm going to be mounting this Red Fox on this. I'm going to show you how I put one on there. And this is the same process I use whether it's a real log or any kind of a artificial base that you're going to use, doesn't matter. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is, this is how the form comes with the wires bent up. Just about any form you get is going to be that way. And the first thing I'm going to do is kind of straighten these wires a little bit. Get all the bends and kinks out of them here. Now I'm going to bend them right up and out of the way so that I got the bottom of the feet exposed, you might say. Okay, I've got those bent up out of the way. I'm going to slide this over here so you can see. And I'm going to line this up on this base where I want it to be. And I've got some upholstery pins here. And I'm going to go with it. I've already pre-drilled this one here, but anyway, I'm going to show you how I come about this. I hold the form on there where I want it. I look at balance and everything and where I want it to be on there. And then I'll take an upholstery pin and I'll put that pin in right where I want that wire to go into that limb. Okay? Do the same thing on all three of these. Like I say, I've already drilled this one so you can see that. But this is the process that I go through. Okay, I've put 3 pins in right where the wires come out of the foot and are going to go into the artificial log. So now we've got that set. Now we've got our spots marked. Then I take a 3/16 drill bit, one of these long skinny drill bits, and I'm going to go into any of those spots, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to start out, get that hole started, and then once that hole started a little bit, I'm going to come up on it, and I want to drill that hole plumb. Okay? So it's plumb and goes all the way through. I do the same thing on this. Start it and run it through. And you drill, I did the same thing with this one here, and they all go all the way through. They're all plumb and parallel to each other. You want them parallel. So the next thing we're going to do, so now we've got all 3 of these holes drilled through there, ready to accept the wires. Now we're going to take and bend those wires back down. And you do want to get as many of those bends out as you can, because it's going to make it a lot easier to slide it through those holes. I'm kind of hurrying here because we don't want it to be too boring here, but they say the straighter you have those wires, the easier it is to put it through there. Okay, now you got to also have an idea of how those wires, where they need to be bent to in order to be parallel and go through all those holes. I'm just kind of guessing right now. And they're relatively close to parallel. See what I'm talking about? They're all parallel, so you can slide that on and off. They'll all go in at the same time in the same direction. If you have them stick in different ways, it really creates a problem. I think we're pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and try that. You can bend them a little bit, especially these smaller wires like this. If they're off a little bit, you can adjust and bend them as you go. Now, these are going to be way too long to fit through. So as they're coming through, I'm just going to bend them out of my way so I can get it clear down there where we want it. There. You can see they're all the way down onto the base now where I want it. And the wires are all sticking out the bottom of the logs. I'm going to cut all those off flush. Okay. I'm going to pull it back off of there. I'm going to take and cut those again now. I'm going to cut at least another 1/4 of an inch off, maybe almost a 1/2 inch off of each one of those now. And that's going to leave them recessed up into that log a little ways. And when we mount this thing, we're going to run a drywall screw up into that hole from underneath, and the threads of that screw are going to catch this wire. That's why we used a 3/16 bit. It just kind of seems to be the right size for most of these small mammals. And that screw will grab that wire and hold everything on there really tight. That's the way I put one on.